It's always just between us, all right?
Welcome into Between Us at 9-3 Live. As always, chatting with you about relationship issues that matter to you. And in particular, today we're going to talk a little bit more about dating tips. Now, as you get busy in life, our circle of friends start to shrink. And sometimes it might be difficult to find people that we really like to date. And of course, in the longer term, a life companion as well. We're going to talk a little bit about essential dating tips, how to find the right person for you and also embark on a fulfilling long-term relationship. All that from my guest today, Cindy Leong, who's a dating and relationship coach at Relationship Studio, telling us more today. Cindy, welcome to the program.
Hello, Angela.
Let's talk a little bit about, the clients that come to you. It seems like these days no one has time for dating. Is that true?
Yes, exactly. It's true because the standard of living right now is so high. There's such a high need to make ends meet. So a lot of my clients actually, they just really focus on their work, and then now maybe they're like mid-30s, even 40s. So they're starting to really look around, and then they may realize that is it the right time for me? And I tell them, no, it's never too late. Obviously, you're ready. But I always ask them, what have you been doing in the last many, many years? Yeah. So what they said is, working and working and working, too busy with work, no time dating. And many a times they make this common mistake whereby they date one after another, and only to realize they have wasted too many years on just dating one person.
Okay.
So my usual advice to them is, why don't you date a few of them and then decide on one?
Okay.
So you're not like, fixated on one guy and say that, hey, should I marry this guy? Is this the right one? You're not sure. Okay, let's try it out. And then 2 years, 3 years wasted.
So you found that people jump into it too quickly. So they date one person and they decide, okay, maybe I should just commit to this without really exploring the options?
The options, correct. So, and also I tend to tell them that, when you don't have options, the desperate vibe actually do come on. Because you don't have, it's just like negotiation skills, right? We learned. If you have other options, you can have better offers or other offers. You do not appear to be too desperate because you won't be at a losing end. If this person is not interested, it's fine. I have many choices. So I often tell them that, your vibe when you approach the various potential partners should be really relaxed. I have no problem finding partners. I only spend time with interesting people. I have a lot of people to go out with. I'm not desperate. So that is the kind of vibe that I tell them, you should have this kind of mentality and not like, oh, I'm so happy you're here dating me, coming out with me, otherwise there's no one else to go out with me.
It's so interesting, Cindy, you mentioned the idea of the air of desperation because I think, people can relate to this, right? You notice someone who, is either trying too hard or you feel, sometimes you just have like an intuition about whether someone needs you a bit too much. So in your case, when you work with your clients, and the truth is there is an urgency. If you're like
of course
30, late 30s, 40, and you might feel like I want to settle down. Marriage is a life goal for me. How do you tone it down? How do you not show that there is actually a bit of that urgency?
Yep. What I tell them that is like what I said just now, having other options, not just focusing on one person, but you have a few of it. I read an article 2 days ago. Someone sent it to me. In fact, my client sent it to me and said that, this is so true. Just like what you said, it's okay to date a few people at the same time and finally find the best one to settle down.
Yeah, I guess one of the first few questions that, singles these days would ask is, where do I even meet these people? Because, I'm so busy, I don't have time to meet anyone.
Correct. And many a times you don't like those people. You see at work.
And also it gets complicated, with office romances.
Exactly.
So where exactly can Singaporean singles go to find new people to date?
Yeah, parties, weddings.
Weddings.
Yeah, weddings. So, that's a good place. And another place to consider, which a lot of people have missed out, is workshops and trainings. You never know. Someone in your trade, you're there to upgrade yourself, and someone is also there to upgrade. You never know. You get to meet people. Of course, being in this business, of course, singles events is something you cannot miss out. And then nowadays, there's really not so much of a stigma to attend such events. It used to be in the past, you attend such things, are you desperate or what? No, nowadays it's more like, it's a social networking kind of setting. So you get to meet new friends, even if it doesn't amount amount to any relationship, anything, but it's just friends. You never know, or this person's friends, or you may go out for parties or some other events, some other time, outing. You know, you may find somebody, you know, so you never rule out any possibilities.
So keeping an open mind about it is pretty important. I think what you mentioned also is that, you know, sometimes in learning new things, picking up new activities, going out of your comfort zone is where you'll meet the new people. If you're always doing the same thing every day, chances are you're not going to meet anyone new.
That's right. So whenever I ask my clients, so what do you do every day after work? Oh, just go home, you know, watch my TV, or I don't do much. I'll see if I get to come off even early, or if there is no OT, I will plan for some other things. So in fact, they don't plan for dates. So people nowadays are too busy, or they are giving too much time to work, or they fail to plan. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's the same thing.
Indeed.
Yeah, so you just leave it to chances whether you have some time. Oh, yes, I have some time tonight. Oh, but I didn't arrange any date. So do what? Go home, sleep, you know, or call out some friends for beer. So, you know, I have single guys, you know, telling me that, I usually hang out with my friends. Okay, who are these friends? Oh, my army guys' friends. Oh, no, it's
I mean,
not
that
helping.
works if they bring girls along, you know, if they bring mutual friends.
But if it's all guys or all girls or all sisters outing, then it's not going to work, because you keep hanging around with this same group of people who are as single as well, so it's not helping you at all. So I just let them know that this is actually counterproductive for your effort. You know,
pick up something new, find new social circles. Assuming that we start there, you know, we go out for a drink, maybe explore alone with another friend, maybe try and meet new people. How do you take it from strangers into starting a conversation, into asking someone out without being creepy? I think we're going to talk about that in just a bit. And my guest today is Cindy Leong. She's a dating and relationship coach at Relationship Studio, sharing essential dating tips, how to find the right person for you, and more importantly, how to embark on a fulfilling long-term relationship. All this coming up in just a moment when Between Us continues. Stay tuned.
Reset your relationships in Between Us. Man is a knot into which relationships are tied, but nothing comes between us. On 938 Live.
Thanks for staying tuned to Between Us and 938 Live. Learning from my guest today, relationship and dating coach at Relationship Studio, Cindy Leong, sharing some essential dating tips for our Singapore singles out there. Cindy, tell us a bit about how we can take things to the next level. Say you go out for drinks or you go out for dinner and you meet someone you think is interesting. How do you approach someone to express your interest without coming on too strong?
Okay, first and foremost, ask for the number, obviously. You know, after a conversation, you really like, you know, what you hear. You really see that there's a possibility to go on to a next step with the person. Okay, so how do you get number? So usually people say, can I have your number? And that comes across pretty creepy. So I discourage them from doing so. So how do you do it with a softer approach? So, you know, when you talk about something that she's really interested in, for example, she's a dancer, she does salsa dancing and all that. Say, hey, you know, I like that. I actually wanted to explore that. Do you know of some really good contacts where I could, you know, connect with? Oh, yeah, sure. So that you can contact so and so. Oh, okay. Maybe I can have your number. Maybe, you know, that's how you can get the contact details. So for girls, it's more of like, I have a reason to give you my contact because I want to help you connect with a salsa teacher, which you're interested in. So in my opinion, it's like, I'm just helping you. So that comes across as not so creepy.
Also, establishing the rapport is pretty important.
Rapport
is important. The fact that you have things in common, you're interested in the same things, makes it more likely for you to be able to establish, you know, more contact over time.
Exactly.
Okay, so assuming you ask the person out on a date, what's a good way to ask? I mean, assuming, because you are strangers, you know, at the start, what's a good way to ask someone on a date that's spontaneous, fun, but not, you know, again, overbearing?
Okay, so for example, if you're interested in this girl, you got her contact number and you're trying to ask her out, right? So my advice to them is always to go for an interesting event, something that she would have gone regardless of whether it's you or with someone else. For example, some interesting performance, she would have gone anyway, with or without you. All right. So when you call her along to come for something like that, it's more engaging for her. She's interested in this activity, and she tend to have a more positive experience anyway. So she will tend to, you know, attribute the positive experience to you, and it's like, hey, I have a great time with this person. And I usually advise them not just going for something like a movie where, you know, you're just facing the screen, but go for something outdoor,
interactive,
like for example a live museum, you know, something like that you can get to take nice nice photographs as memorials, memories, and you can share interesting moments together. And there are a lot to talk about and a lot of external stimulations. To me, that is important because when you're just facing a screen, when you're just facing something without interaction, that's like, or even if you go to a cafe just to talk one-on-one, how long can you last? Especially for guys, you're just at the losing end because girls can always talk a lot. But you know what I mean? So we ladies, we can sit in the cafe for 3, 4, 5 hours talking about people and different things. But for guys, it's really difficult. So how do you do well, perform well in a date, go for something outdoors, like I have a friend who loves to bring the date to a luge ride because to him it's like an adrenaline rush, when you go up on a skyline, the little cable car thingy where you get your legs dangling out there. So it's an adrenaline rush. So you get to take nice photos as well.
I think there are studies done that show that, that people fall in love faster when they feel their heartbeat go up. So they attribute the feeling to being in love.
Correct.
When it's really just the ride.
Yes, correct. Right. So, and also with a lot of external stimulus, like, people to talk about, people walking around, things, events happening around you. You will not run out of topics. You can just strike a topic very easily, like, oh wow, this person's dressing is really weird or whatever. What do you think? Then you can, you can share things with her. And to me, I always ask guys to ask open-ended questions, not things like yes, no, how's your day, good, fine, where did you come from, home. So try to ask open-ended questions where you can really dig into her mind. Like, what do you think? How do you feel about this? If that's you, what would you do? Question like that.
I suppose in the first place, another gripe that a lot of men or women have is when people don't listen at all. So you don't even ask the questions, you're just talking and talking.
Yes, you just talk about yourself, and after you're done talking about yourself, you just continue to talk about what others talk about you. I've seen cases like that, which is not really good. So you want to really listen. Like, one tip for guys, really to adopt this thing called active listening, which means you listen with some response like, oh, really? Oh dear. These are some response that shows the woman that you are actually listening. Okay. But most of the guys, you just sit there and you just stone and say, yeah, I'm listening. I'm really listening intensely. So that's why I'm not reacting to anything. But to the ladies, we see that you're not listening because you're not responding to us. So this is something called active listening, which means you're acknowledging, I hear you. Oh dear, why? He did that, really?
So be more expressive, it seems,
exactly.
Right? To seem that you're more engaged in the conversation.
More engaging, that's right.
We're going to hear a little bit more also about how to get the attention of someone in a public setting. Say you're in a networking session and you want to get someone's attention. Also, how to increase your confidence, your charisma, and your attractiveness. And he's going to share some of her stories working with her clients as well, how things have changed for them and how they can change for you as well if you're thinking about dating or looking for the right person. Cindy Leong is my guest today. She's dating and relationship coach at Relationship Studio, sharing some essential dating tips. If you'd like to find out more, do give us a ring, 669-11938. We'll take some of your questions as well, and we'll return right after headline news and sports. Stay tuned on 938 Live.
Our soulful encounter is always just between us on 938 Live. It's always just between us, all right?
Thank you for staying tuned to 938 Live. This is Between Us. We're talking today to Cindy Leong, who's a dating and relationship coach at Relationship Studio. We're talking about dating tips. But before we get a little bit more into the do's and don'ts of dating, Cindy, let's talk a bit about the mindset that you think is ideal for going into dating. Because sometimes if you don't know what you want, you end up wasting your time and the other person's time as well. Tell us about that.
Yes, many a times people actually, enter into a rebound relationship, which is totally unnecessary. You hurt everybody. So my advice is that you have to do a self-checkup first. Then number one, you have to know whether you are emotionally stable. Do you feel lonely when you're just alone? Are you trying to get into a relationship just because you are afraid of being lonely? Or is it because you are willing and ready to build something lasting? So this, you have to be sure yourself. And do you still miss your exes?
Okay.
Yeah, this is something that a lot of people have to confront yourself and make sure that you don't. You're not carrying your past baggages with you. Yeah, and also you have to ask yourself whether you are ready to present your best to whoever you're gonna meet. Like, are you at your best right now? You know, are you happy with your job now? Are you done and over and done with all your past baggages right now? So you have to do a checkup first. So once you see that, hey, you know, I think I'm ready, I want to build something lasting, so I am ready to go out and look for someone, to hunt for someone. Yeah, so then that's when you embark, you know, so you start attending events and all that, you know, to meet new people.
Well, it seems like it's really not about filling a void. You know, sometimes people go into
Yeah.
the idea that I want that person to complete me. I want
Yeah.
that person to help me resolve something that I need.
Exactly.
And you find that might be problematic sometimes?
Yeah, that's pretty problematic, because the thing is, you want to be on the solution side of the problem. You don't want someone to, you know, none of us are perfect. You see, we are here to help one another. But the main and most important thing is you are committed to growth. You are committed to be better, not just for yourself, but for your future partner. So that's basically what we do most. We don't do one-to-one matching services and things like that, but we are into coaching. So what we do is mostly to help singles understand where they are right now, understand what they need, and understand who to find. Because many a times, if you don't even find yourself, you don't even know what you want yourself, then it's very difficult for you to find someone else, because you don't know what you're looking for. You're just hunting around, going for someone. Oh yeah, looks good, looks pretty. Okay, I think I can connect with her. Boom, you went into something, and then you realize you get hurt again and again and again. And that's essentially not the way it should be in a relationship. So once you understand the whole goal of a relationship, what is it for? You know, a lot of people are avoiding it as well. Like, hey, you know, I can stay single. It's perfectly fine to be single. I mean, financially, I'm doing fine. Career-wise, I'm doing fine. You know, I don't need someone in my life which kind of like make my life more complicated. Yeah, like I have to take care of one more person. But yet, you know, you have to see that a life is more than just yourself. It's a whole spectrum of life. Yes, you double your joy, you double your sorrows.
Right.
But that's essentially what life is about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I do speak as well to friends, you know, some single friends of mine as well who feel that, you know, maybe I don't want to be in a relationship. Maybe, you know, it's gotten to the point where they're so caught up in the career, they're so caught up in the chase that they feel I'm an independent woman, or I'm an independent man. I don't need someone to fulfill or enrich my life.
Yes. So what happens is, I do have some clients that come to me at their late 30s or even 40s. They want to find a relationship now that they see that, you know, some of their friends are happily married, they have a established career. At the same time, they can have a happy relationship. Now that they wonder why didn't they started something earlier, and now they're starting to look. So I'm saying that, you know, if you are still young, you know, you should try to do two things at one time. You can juggle between both. You know, some of them say, I want to get my career in place first before I start looking and things like that. No, this something you cannot get back is your time, your youth. Okay, so you should spend your youth really wisely in terms of career as well as relationship. But you have to understand that at the end of the day, what makes you really happy and satisfied and fulfilling. You know, it's really having meaningful, fruitful relationships around you, you know. So instead of spending all the time you have on career, why don't you really try to manage both? You know, it's all about time management. It's not impossible. It's just like, you know, there's this guy I've seen attending one of my workshops. Okay, he works from 9 to 6, and he's always tired after that. And I said, you know, do you go for exercising? Do you do something with your life, you know, to build up more energy, you know, vitality? That's important, you know, liveliness. So, and then he says, not really. So he's perpetually tired, you see. So I'm telling him that, hey, you know, look, you are missing out a lot of chances to meet new people or catching up with people. You know, another guy can work 9 to 6 just like you, but he can go for a date, he can go for networking, he can go out for a party, he can go catch up with his high school friends and blah blah blah, catch a concert, catch a show with somebody, and he ends his night maybe at about 10:30, 11.
It's still a reasonable
It's still
hour, right?
early, yes. And then he sleeps, he rests well, and then he has energy for next day.
Right.
So look, you have two guys here working 9 to 6, but yet one guy have more energy, meeting more people, getting to, you know, getting himself exposed to more people.
Yeah.
Essentially is about time management and is about building building some energy for yourself.
Sometimes we just get sucked into a routine, right? We
Yep.
just get used to the habit of just going to work and going home
Yeah.
and sometimes just rethinking that. And I love the message that you're putting out there, Cindy, the idea that why choose one when you can have both?
You can have both.
Essentially,
I've
right?
seen like so many successful people, like businessmen, businesswomen. They have happy family as well as a great career. Why not? You
Yeah.
can manage both.
I mean, speaking of having it all, right? So what are some of the main challenges that you feel that a lot of your clients bring up, and how, in some way do you help them overcome that?
Okay, so first we talk about the high living standards in Singapore, the career and all that. So we have addressed that. You can really have both by managing your time, managing your energy, and also nowadays a lot of people like certain professions like IT, engineers, civil servants, they work in a male-centric or female-centric working environment. So they didn't get to meet people of the opposite gender. So what happens? So they really need to go out and meet more people that's outside their work. Stop hanging around the same sex, same gendered friends, but go out and really meet people outside, like really going for events, networking, parties, weddings. Just be open to meet more people, really putting yourself out there, to let people know that, hey, I'm here enjoying life. I'm here open to meet new people. So that's the kind of vibe you should bring. And of course, lack of energy, we talk about it already. And then, of course, we have a few clients that came to me at late 30s to 40s. They have been spending too much time in the past living in ambiguity. What do I call by ambiguity? Which means they have entered into a relationship where there's no status. They're just not sure what, and they don't question. They don't ask for clarification or closure. They just go on with it for like 4, 5, 6 years, and lo and behold, a few years passed, and they are now,
I think we all know,
Yeah.
friends like that who are caught in these kind of relationship dynamics.
ambiguous relationship.
So you're saying, get some clarity. Don't get yourself into a situation
Yeah.
where years down the road you realize actually there's no future.
Yes, there's
in
no
this
future.
relationship.
Yeah. I've got one client that this particular person have to bring the new partner to show him at the airport, only to realize that actually this person is already taken.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's really tricky. I mean, a few years has been wasted.
We're going to talk a bit more, so I guess how to address the concern of, not having time, not being able to find new people to interact with. I mean, there are solutions. Cindy's going to give us some of those in just a bit. Cindy Long's my guest today. She's a dating and relationship coach at Relationship Studio. We're going to talk a bit more about what you can do to, I guess, maximize your options and your opportunities as well to find the right date and hopefully a good relationship. Stay tuned.
Reset your relationships in Between Us. Our soulful encounter is always just between us on 938 Live.
Chatting with Cindy Leong today, dating and relationship coach at Relationship Studio, about essential dating tips and how to find the right person for you. Cindy, I mean, if people are, they're complaining they have no time, they can't find new friends, because they're so busy, what options do they have to meet new people?
Actually, there are many, many options because right now the SDN is very supportive of singles, going for singles events, workshop to enrich yourself. So there used to be a lot of social stigma, but now not really. You do see youngsters as young as 24, 25. They're just open to attend such things. It's mostly to just really widen their social circle, making new friends. So, what I used to do, because of my events background, I like to come up with interesting events that has not been done yet by people. So last month I had dating over sake. So sake is a new in thing. So it's held in Fullerton Bar. Fullerton Hotel Post Bar. So it's really very atas kind of feel, where people, so I do tell myself, like, would I attend such an event? If it's something that I would attend, then I would bring out this event for my singles to attend. So it's not such an awkward thing, but it's more of like having fun, chill,
it's relaxed and laid back.
Yes, with class, So then we had one more event that's coming up, which is Mood for Magic. Yeah, so a lot of people really think like magic is really to cheat little girls kind of thing. Yeah. So there's some objections which my magicians actually brought up to me, but he says then no, it's actually something to build confidence. It's to build presentation skills and how you put it across. So I say, yeah, why not? Let's do a singles magic workshop. So that's coming up on 22nd of November.
Okay.
Yeah, at Post Bar as well.
There's this one I've heard about. It sounds pretty interesting to me. Dating the Dark. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, we did our first run sometime last month, and we're doing the second run on 23rd of November. It's a lunch at Knox Dine in the Dark. So for those of you who have been to this place, you know that this place is pitch dark. So you don't get to see the person that you are eating with. You don't get to see the food you are eating. But the interesting part is that because many a times when I host singles event, these people are very preoccupied with the looks.
The
So
appearances.
the appearances, like, this is not the kind of look I'm looking for, not my type. They end up typing on their phone and just not talking with the person. So you just prejudge the person even before the person open his mouth.
Yeah.
So what happens for dating in the dark? You have nothing to do except to eat and talk because it's all dark. You have to put away all your phones and everything. And the last time when we had it, it was so much fun because it was so noisy. Everybody just can't stop talking. And they just exchange so much about themselves. And I thought that that's really good. And after that, it was, of course, a pleasant surprise for everyone to find out how each other really look like. But having that said, Cindy does screen through all the participants. Yeah, based on the age.
So you're
and
not
everything.
going to get a shock when the lights come up.
Yes. No awkward situations.
Yeah.
So
it's lovely that, at the end of the day with events like that, the focus is on very positive things like building a great
Exactly.
conversation, about getting to know each other in a very, very casual way where you don't actually have a lot of expectations. There's no desperation at these
Exactly.
events.
A lot of people think that I must find my life partner in this event, but come on, it's just making new friends. You start by making new friends first. Yeah, even if you're lost and you're not really sure what to do, we do have workshops as well on like making the first impression, about work, makeup workshop. And we have one interesting upcoming is in collaboration with Love Express. It's on Enneagram profiling. So that's for you to know what's your type, what kind of person you are, where are you now, and understanding what type is most suitable for you.
Right.
So we're doing that on the 26th of November. So
If you want to find out more details about these as well, so many ways you can make a change in your dating life and do better as well. You can head on down to this website, www.relationshipstudio.sg, find out more about what Cindy does and also the kind of activities and events that are coming up as well. All the details at www.relationshipstudio.sg. Cindy Leong is relationship and dating coach at Relationship Studio. Thank you so much for coming in, Cindy.
thank you for having me here today.
This has been Between Us on 938 Live. I'm Angela Lim. Thanks for tuning in.
Man is a knot into which relationships are tied, but nothing comes between us. On 938 Live.